Grumble, grumble.
Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meeple, and I am coming back at you with some more Shadows of Brimstone related content. This time we're going to be kicking off on a kind of more positive note, as we're going to be looking at the miniatures for the Gates of Valhalla Brimstone Adventures set, which I recently received via my Kickstarter pledge. So I've got them all assembled and kind of based and primed up, and I'm just gonna kind of show them off to you and let you know what I think about them, which is, spoiler alert, they're freaking awesome. They're the best miniatures these guys have ever done, I think. So exciting stuff. All right, so we'll start off with the heroes here. Where? Don't remember the names of all these heroes. This is literally all I've done is like organize the game and get the miniatures close to ready. So what I'll do, and maybe it doesn't matter which heroes which, but what I do here is they are on sprues, so you have to clip them off the sprue, and then you typically have to do some cleanup on them because cutting them off the sprue will leave chunks of plastic on them that look very kind of off, and so you have to sand those off or cut those off, which is a pretty time-consuming process. And then you assemble them using plastic cement, and then I glue them onto their bases, and then I just put some super glue on the base and dunk them into a bowl full of kind of basing bits, which is where you get like the cool rocky looking base, if you like. And then I'll go through and I'll paint the ring bases. I paint the heroes gold. I paint the allies, one of which we have right here, with a color called Kentopex Alloy, and then I paint the enemy bases black so that they stand out from themselves a little bit on the board. And then I go through and I wash them all with just a dark, watered down army painter dark tone to bring out the detail. But they look pretty great even right now. I don't have the time or the energy to paint them. And so this is a system that I've come up with that is scalable enough so that in a world where I have like 600 more minis sitting in various boxes, it's conceivable that I could at some point have them all painted. So that's a little bit about my system. Going into the actual minis here, first we've got, I believe this is the Viking Berserker. And yeah, he looks great. He's a lot of detail, his pants, his beard, his twin axes. His pelt looks really great. You can read the expression on his face, which is nice. He's not like a faceless fucking monster like some of the Simon miniatures are sometimes. Let me get my glasses. My other glasses. Here we've got the Jarl, I believe. He's got this bitchin' two-handed axe with runic symbols inscribed on it. He's got his chainmail, his fucking dope-ass mohawk, big, thick cloak to protect him from the cold Norse winds. And some really nice detail even on the cloak and such. Yeah, like, these are gorgeous. Like, as far as I'm concerned, these are the best miniatures these guys have ever done. My current video series that I'm running right now is about how I think that they've kind of screwed up their currently running Kickstarter campaign for the Lost Tombs and the Impossible Hell Train. But, don't let that lead you to believe that I don't love these games or love the company. I do. I just believe it's like a personal belief of mine that critique is always valuable, always more valuable than glad handing and fucking getting, patted on the back by your community. And so I have a particular way of delivering critique, which is not particularly kind, but the underlying message is that I'm trying to suggest ways that I think this series could improve in the future. So it's a constructive act, and despite all that, and despite everything I say in those campaigns, the games are awesome, and these miniatures are fucking top of the line as far as I'm concerned. It's as good as any miniature ever needs to be. The hero stances, they're actually quite good in this set. This is another thing that was driving me crazy with the Lost Tomb set, is the heroes, they're just so boring. They're just standing there. I love this pose where he's got his kind of axes out and he's clearly getting ready to leap or charge in. The Jarl's just kind of prepped with his huge axe. That axe makes it a kind of a cool looking miniature. You've got that, I believe this is the Raider. He's got his kind of beaten up shield. He is just kind of standing there. I really don't know why they don't do more action-oriented poses for the heroes, but it still looks really good. And the detail on his chainmail is gorgeous. And then we've got the Housecarl. She's got her shield on her back, and she's in a little bit more of an active pose. She's got her bow drawn and ready to fire, and it has a string and everything, which is a nice touch. So those are the 4 heroes that come in the set, and these are team heroes, meaning that they share a base set of abilities, and they share an upgrade tree, which is unlike all the other Brimstone heroes who aren't team heroes, who are, much more individualized. So they have their own starting gear, their own upgrade trees and whatnot. But to be honest, I think the trade-off with the team is that you get these team ability cards, and they're really cool. And those upgrade trees, I've been playing this game for years, and I've never. You don't get down them. You don't see everything, and so having 4 heroes with 3 or 4 trees to go down, you can still kind of experience. You can actually experience everything for the Vikings, instead of maybe you could play Gunslinger for like a year and only experience one side of his trees. So I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got the 3 allies that come in the set. This was a really nice addition, and I'm super bummed that they are not replicating it with the current campaign, because in the past you've had to buy these types of characters in a separate pack, and what they are is hirelings, basically, that you can go to town and spend some money to get one of these guys to adventure with you. And it's just a cool addition to the game. It's a cool addition to like RP, and they're cool miniatures, and their exclusion from the current campaign is kind of baffling to me, and one of the things that makes the current campaign, I think, a little less of a value proposition than these adventure sets were. So they're all the same. They're pretty cool looking. Moving on to the enemies, we've got the Gremlins. These guys are really small. I don't know if this will come up real well. They're little gobos. They look great. They're gobos. Gremlins, whatever you want. Call them goblins. There's 12 of them, I believe, and there are a few different poses. Maybe not. Are they all the same? I suppose they're mostly the same. That's okay, though. I I heard these guys are hard as hell too, because they kind of mob you, and I can't remember what it is. They do extra damage the more of them are mobbing you and whatnot, so they can be really scary. Next up, we've got the Targa. I think these are called Centurions. These are probably my favorite miniatures of the bunch. Well, no, I can't say that, but these are really, really badass looking miniatures. I love these. Check out that huge sword. I would have loved it if they could have just thrown a different, like an axe or something in with these guys too, but you know, that's fine. I love the shield. I like shielded miniatures in general. I just like the way they look. It's very evocative to me. And just like great detail on these robotic looking figures. They almost look like Space Marines. Very cool. And you know, you have the ability to pose them in different ways. So this guy is a little more open depth. He's probably charging forward. This guy is clearly braced for an attack. This guy's just like, what the fuck is that over there? This guy's got his shield down instead of up, kind of different than everyone else. And then this guy is calling for a fight. Very, very cool. And super, super, like the detail is so crisp. I love these miniatures. Next up, we've got these are really, really cool miniatures. These might be my favorites. These are the Targa Librarians, or the Archive Librarians, and there are 3 different types. This one comes with like a holo map, so you can see he's got like a map of the region pulled up, and you can see his 2 little kind of arms reaching out. His other one's kind of at his side. He's got his kind of weird robo robes. This really cool head. Just a really cool, evocative miniature that's different than anything else in the product line. This one's very similar, but he's got this kind of rail gun or laser going on. And again, you can pose these kind of as you like to some extent. And then this guy's got a different type of gun, and I left his helmet off actually, so he looks really cool. He stands out. So again, really, really cool miniatures. You will never hear me complaining about the Brimstone miniatures, with the exception of why the fuck are all these heroes just standing around. Moving on, here we've got one of the Frost Trolls. I don't know if that's exactly what he's called. This is an incredible miniature. Look how expressive his face is. His tongue is sticking out. He's got bones hanging off of his necklace here. He's got this huge head. He's got this huge pouch he's carrying his rocks around in, probably. And his fur just looks... This is a fantastic miniature. This is a gorgeous miniature. There is some slight issues with these things not quite fitting together enough. For some of them, I use some green stuff to try and close those gaps. For some of them, I just didn't care enough. But still, amazing looking miniatures. They're going to look amazing on the table. And then finally, you've got the Frost Giant. This is probably this is my favorite of all the XL miniatures, I think, that come in a basic set. Just love his beard. Look at his helmet. It's so detailed. Little runes all over it. He's wearing his kind of cloak, but he's naked underneath, and he's got good muscle definition and everything, but it's not like ridiculous. He's got his sash and his fucking pants, and the scale of him is awesome. He's got this huge tree root, which is bigger than one of the hero miniatures, and so when these guys face off, you're really going to feel the danger coming from this guy, I think. Very, very, very cool miniature. Hard to say which one is my favorite. I love you know, the detail on his leather bindings there. What a great set of miniatures. And so that's it. That's all for this video. I just wanted to show off the miniatures and maybe help people get a sense of what they're getting if they do back this new campaign. You know, the concerns that I have with the campaign are, a lot of them are related to being a repeat customer of Flying Frog. If you're new to the entirely new to the game, then it's a little bit more of a no-brainer. Just back it, because you will get a pile of stuff unlike anything you've ever seen. And the hobby side of this is, you know, kind of a pain in the ass, but I don't know, you do spend more time messing around with this stuff, you know, it takes time to assemble them and everything, so you're getting hands-on with your product at least. And I think that it's really, if you're looking at the campaign from the perspective of a returning backer, or just from the perspective of somebody who likes to like puzzle things out and apply logic to decision making, or try to, that's where it gets a little sketchy for me. But it's still nothing that would stop me from backing it, and nothing that would stop me from talking positively about this game series. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later.